Hello, everybody. Welcome to ATCB. We're doing something exciting with this new series. It's basically, we're going to do some co-op Civ, which you'll have seen before on the channel, specifically in Beyond Earth with myself and Chris Corline. But there's no Chris Corline this time. Oh, the bells will ring. Instead, I'm bringing along him, Neill.
Hello,
Neill.
This is him, Neill, and I am actually the controller for today, as
The controller.
or the overlord, or something like that. The prince.
The Uber Prince.
Yes, because in this case, what we're doing is that I'm terrible at Civ 5, and the bastard is less terrible. I don't know. How would you describe yourself?
I would say I think it's actually an interesting thing to say for this. So, yeah. So what I'll be doing is kind of mentoring Neill through to a Civ 5 win, but it might be handy to say our experience levels with Civ for the viewers. So I first played Civ with the game Civ 1 back a long time ago on the Amiga 1200 and then on PC. And then I jumped away from it for about 10 years and jumped back on with Civ 5. And I'm pretty good with Civ. I'm no multiplayer elite expert, but I'm pretty good with Civ.
I played a couple of hours of Alpha Centauri, and I played maybe 40 minutes of Civ 4, and then when Gods and Kings came out, I played a game of that, and then in Brave New World, I think I played 3 games, maybe 4 and a bit.
Yeah.
So, not great at Civ.
And I think it's fair to say as well that you can find Civ a bit frustrating in its kind of lack of transparency of systems.
Yes, I think as people who have seen my Crusader Kings 2 probably could guess, one of the things I find difficult about Civ 5 is the weird ahistorical nature of it. But I think the non-transparency of systems and the fact that it has almost an institutionalized knowledge whereby each game has built upon each other quite successfully. But I've not played the other ones, so...
Yeah. So you don't automatically connect food and science and all that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes. But it's worth pointing out that I'm no stranger to strategy games in general.
No.
It's just the Civ particular style of game.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where even if you're into strategy in a big way, there's Neill here is very good at Endless Legend, for example. And people might go look at the Endless Legend content on the channel. Well, not that's Neill, but knowing how Endless Legend works is not an automatic into kind of clocking how a build order in Civ works.
Indeed.
Or not even if you're not even min-maxing, even if you're just kind of gently pootling along, because Civ just throws so many different buildings at you, and I think it is a good introductory 4X, but it's if you go on higher difficulties, it can start, or against people who know what they're doing, then it can become quite a frustrating experience if you haven't got the hours in to kind of training yourself on it, as it were.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be familiarising Neill a bit more with Civ 5, just in time for Civ 6 to come out. Don't ask why, that was my idea. So Neill, tell me who you are for the next.
I am Ramses II of Egypt. I wanted to play Egypt because, well, firstly, as Austin shows me, it's a very civvy Civ. From the early games, it's also representative of the Civ victory conditions. And from a personal perspective, I like playing in Civ old civilizations, so sort of Bronze Age civilizations, but I can't do that in pretty much any other game. So it was between sort of Egypt, Babylon, Greece in my mind. Get a proper ancient one.
Egypt will be a good one to learn on as well, because it's not tied to a victory type right from the start, like Babylon or Greece are so much. Which means, Neill can play around a bit more, which is good. I'm just going to go in as Venice. Like I say, I'm pretty much just kind of tutoring this through, so I'm just going to sit there with my one city, hopefully not get conquered. Although that would be a lovely last minute betrayal twist, if you just not that you can, they're on the same team, but just viciously conquer me. But so I probably won't even take over any city states or anything like that. I'll just sit there, be in Venice, getting a shit ton of money.
That's good.
And that's it. So we are. Let's go do the thing.
Yes, the thing.
Do the thing. Okay, here we are inside Civ. So, and obviously we're going to have to manage this without without me being able to see what you're up to.
Or what your screen's like.
Oh yes, of course I can. Okay, let's have a look. Wow. Okay. Well, you have a pretty good starting position there.
Oh, I have icons.
Now, here are things. Here's some things for you to note. So, the main things to consider when settling your first city, or kind of any city, is A, your proximity to resources. You definitely don't have a problem with that.
Nope.
You also have to think about whether you are on a river or whether you are coastal. Both of these things are good. Both of them is even better. The other thing is if you're near anything of any specific note, such as natural wonders, which are always worth taking.
Yeah.
And the next thing is whether you're next to a mountain or not.
I am.
Being next to a mountain, A, increases the defense.
I know this. Observatories.
Observatories, absolutely, which are amazing for science. There's also a couple of wonders which can only be built if you're. I think they can be built if you have mountains in your proximity range rather than next to them. But they are also worth considering. I think that's Machu Picchu and Neuschwanstein, and they're both very good wonders. So, what I would advise you to do, although you have that's excellent right off the bat, but what I would do in your circumstance is I would send your warrior round the bottom of that waterline to see if it's actually coast or just a lake.
I don't think it's coast.
It is not coast. Okay. In that case, because if it was coast, I would say you definitely want to be next to it.
There is coast to my southwest, though, which I could get to in a turn or two.
There is, and taking a turn or so to settle an especially good spot is definitely not a loss. I would, however, say that because we're playing on Legendary Start, it's fairly unlikely that you're going to get as good resources further away from your starting position. And the thing is as well, like for me, being on the coast is absolutely vital because I can only build a city. For you, you can build a coast anywhere. A coast anywhere? You can build
a coast.
On a coast. What I would say for you is that perhaps being next to a mountain with your capital.
So shall I move to that double?
To that, I'd move to the. If it was me, I'd move to the blank hill.
Is that construction symbol? What does it mean? This is how long ago it's been since I've played this game. The double hammer.
What I would do is, you see the blank hill that's got the marble. Marble's going to be insanely for you.
It's grassland, hill with a double hammer.
Yeah, I would move there and see what it looks like.
Well, fortunately, that's what I was originally planning to do anyway, so it's good that I'm good at this.
So, the other thing to note is that obviously you, if you hover over... See, I'm actually using the enhanced UI mod. I imagine you're not. So
I am not.
My UI is slightly different from yours. But the thing to remember as well is that the maximum range of a city will always be 3 tiles.
Yes.
In every direction.
I remember that.
So, calculating from there, the only thing you're missing by moving there as opposed to staying where you were is that 1 cotton.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You've got 2 cotton already.
And I've got the mountains, which is probably
And
better.
now you've got a mountain, And there may be resources further out, through that fog of war that you can't see further down to the southeast. So, I think that's a good spot. It does mean you won't be able to settle this turn, but
To be honest, from Endless Legend, I'm used to that. In Endless Legend, especially as I often play Broken Lords or Cultists, I almost never settled turn 1, especially as it has no legendary starts, as we were discussing before. It's really
absolutely
annoying. And you've settled. You're in a good spot there as well.
If you want to pop up there, if you want to pop up to my areas to give them the view. Again, a very good starting spot. The 2 wheat next to me are fantastic. And here's a first lesson: food is king in civilization. It rules most things, directly or indirectly. Food more or less equals science for a start. Population equals science and food equals population.
Right, yes.
And also, obviously, your production will be much higher if you have a higher pop, blah, 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 blah. Choose research. Now, because we're on the same team, we basically have to we can research separately or together to get stuff quicker. It would be a very, very unusual Civ game or game plan for someone not to take pottery first.
Okay.
And the reason for that is the shrine.
Yeah, then the shrine is good. It's especially in Brave New World because it gives you the faith.
Yes. And you want to be able to get a religion, essentially,
Yes.
because there's a limited amount of religions that can be found in each game.
Now, I'm guessing, being the culture that I am, I probably then immediately want to go mining and then masonry.
That is certainly not a bad option, because you want to get that marble.
And the pyramids.
Scouted. The pyramids? Yeah, well, appropriate. You want to get the marble as soon as possible, because marble gives you... Having marble within the range of your city gives it a bonus to building wonders. And you already have a bonus.
And I'm Egypt. Well, it feels thematic to go for pyramids, but also I know they are very useful for construction speed. And
they are, because they spam out your workers, so they are pretty good. Okay. I am happy to next turn that.
I believe I am as well. We don't have anything else just now, so next turn.
It should be nice and quick, being there's only two of us and we're early on.
Right.
Regarding your warriors,
Ruins.
simply use them. Yeah, ruins. Simply use them as explorers. Also, making contact with other civs early is good, because especially if you've got, it's quite an advantage to have a close neighbour, especially if they're friendly. Because early trade is often very handy for getting new luxuries.
Now,
now,
the wrong unit.
Never mind. 2 turns is nothing. 2 turns is nothing. So just hop on back next turn.
Yeah.
To up there and...
God, I've not even played Endless Legend for so long. This is how rusty I am these days.
See, you've gained your cotton back. Like, you didn't even lose cotton by moving down there, and there's sheep down there as well, which you wouldn't have had.
Next turn?
Yep.
Cool. Right, let's do that.
Yeah, just hit next turn whenever you want, because it blocks...
Oh, yeah, of course it does. Yes. So I'm going to go there, and then... Oh, Adam moves again. Well... Discovered some runes. Oh, that's you.
Yeah, I discovered some, but you hopped in some and presumably got something.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't give you the pop-up.
Yeah. Might have got nothing.
You may have got nothing, yeah. Next up.
Right, finally I'm going to find my city. This is really demonstrating how much I am again. Thebes has been founded.
Fantastic. I just got some
monument.
Now, here's a question. So, obviously your initial urge is to build a monument. But, while getting culture early is good, there's also something to be said for taking a scout. Because getting those villages, those ruins, is really good. And also, as before, finding out about your area, and both are valid. Both are valid. What I'm saying is, don't assume that a monument is immediately the best thing. But having said that, if you want to go for the monument, there's no problem with that.
I just think... return to map. Well, as I'm probably going to want to build a shrine in 6 turns, and I'm now slightly behind, a monument will take me 8 turns. So building a monument now delays my shrine by 2
It will
turns.
delay your shrine by 2 turns.
Because I was delayed.
Although, progress on a building will stay.
Oh, will it?
Yes, so you can switch and shuffle it into your queue.
Okay.
And that'll be fine.
Well, I'll go for scout anyway. Endless Legend did teach me quite successfully the value of scouting.
Yeah.
Although that was for slightly different reasons, but... I found some barbarians. I take it it's not worth trying to attack them just now.
What you got? A warrior? It could be.
It's ends in a stalemate. Exact stalemate.
It does, but... And here's pro tip Civ style. Barbarians don't health regen. You do.
Okay. So
attack them a couple of times, and then go into fortify, and then heal up a bit and do it again. The only problem with that is that they will spawn units eventually.
But not in the next few turns.
They may not in the next few turns. You've caught them pretty early, so it may be worth just grinding them down and then taking it.
Right, I'll grind them down and gain 5 XP.
Yeah, and that is another very big bonus of
they gain
early killing stuff is the XP. Getting your units starting to be pretty fearsome pretty early on, because...
Do you normally pick heals or the actual long-lasting bonuses?
Long-lasting bonuses, almost always, unless I'm about to use a unit if I don't.
Yeah.
'Cause if I'm going to lose a unit, then there's no point in
taking it.
doing
Yeah.
it. So see, I'm going to start a monument now after I've got my scout, but I might switch to a shrine before I finish it. I don't know. I might not. It's not quite as important for Venice to have a religion as other civs, because having only one city, there's certain advantages depending on the actual religion in having multiple cities. So,
rough or open terrain for my promotion?
The general accepted wisdom is rough.
Excellent. Your units heal in your zone of control, don't they?
They heal anywhere, but they will heal in your zone of control faster.
Okay.
The reason why people go for rough is A, because rough terrain is generally harder to fight in, but also because the upgrade chain that leads from rough is considered a lot stronger than the one from open terrain.
Fair enough.
First city-state, Manila.
Ooh, I can choose a policy.
Okay, so here's another one. Right, if I can bring up the policy, because it's going to be a while before I get that. You must have stepped on a ruin that gave you culture.
That must have been what I did, yes.
So, you've got 4 choices at the beginning here. Piety is not that strong, generally speaking. It's perfectly valid. All of them are valid. If you want to go down piety, go down piety. Most people would start on tradition and liberty. And the question on them is generally... And this is what I mean when I talk to you about people picking their victory conditions very early on.
Yes.
Victory conditions can be very tied into whether you go tall or wide. So, and as it says, tradition is best for small empires, liberty is best for rapid expansion. Having said that, you can build tall and go for rapid expansion anyway, because you get a free settler, and that is incredibly valuable. With any build, getting a free settler is insanely good. So, tradition and liberty, I think they're a bit of a toss-up. I think they're both very good. What I would say is go for whichever one. If you think you're going to go tall, maybe go for tradition. If you think you're going to go wide, maybe go for liberty, but otherwise...
I'm going to go tall just because I normally go wide in these kind of games.
Sure.
And I want... It just, again, aristocracy, building wonders just feels appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely. And the guy looks pretty Egyptian in tradition.
Pretty Egyptian.
If you end up going for science, a tall build is pretty much mandatory.
Okay.
So,
I have to say, I've played an aborted game before the multiplayer we did, which was very bad, where I played as Greece and I went Honor first, and that was very, very nice.
It is very nice, especially if you've got a lot of barbarians around you.
Yeah,
you get your units up very quickly.
Yeah, it was quite nice. Okay. Ooh, and I can choose something new. I will build 1 turn of a monument. And that's it, I believe. And my warrior needs to heal for a turn.
We are really quite close to each other, which is nice.
Yes, really quite close. Ah, yes, you're up there.
We've got pottery. So I'm actually going to continue with my monument because I don't particularly feel the need to get a religion. I just increased my pop with a ruin. That's excellent. Yeah. But I would suggest you switch to shrine.
Yes, I'm going to.
We haven't even... we're not going to cover things like optimizing your worker placement and stuff like that for now. We'll focus on the easy stuff like
actually,
build.
why not? Because I have 1 worker, so if we start now, it'll be really easy.
Okay. Well, you'll have 2 workers.
2 workers. How do I even see them?
Click on your city tab.
The green bits, yes.
Yeah.
Now I remember.
Unfortunately, I can see where your things are. So, well, let's start by saying the obvious. You need 1 on that 3 food.
Yep.
On your cattle, which is probably auto-selected for it.
Yep.
And if I was you, while food is king, that marble
Marble,
space is far too valuable.
2 construction and 2 gold.
Yeah.
It just seems like a basics of numbers, and sometimes 4 is better than 3. For instance.
What that will do is throw your food gain really off, and I can see already it's 20. It's like it's going to take you a long time to go up in pop. But that will help you build. What I would probably do is pop them on the marble until the shrine is built,
and then swap them out,
and then swap it for the food. That's what I'd do. But,
yeah, because it reduces it from
8 to 6.
8
I
to
think.
6, yeah. So for 6 turns, that makes sense.
Getting a shrine early is just pretty handy. So that's probably what
I
I
do. Again, I'm used to a lot of pop management playing Broken Lords and Endless Legends because basically just keep you on food for a little while before switching them.
Yeah.
The Barb camp.
Just come to the top of your discover territory out here. And Pantheon founded already, you see. Yep. They've taken Sacred Path, which is +1 culture from jungle tiles. So they're around a lot of jungle, and there's quite a lot of jungle here, so it's possible they're our neighbours.
Either way, that's not a religious bit I want, so I'm fine with them doing that.
Yeah. Right, so we need to choose another tech.
I'm going up mining at the moment.
That's fine. That's
might
going
sailing.
Quarrying. To be honest, at the moment, I think the most valuable thing is animal husbandry.
Yes.
Because it reveals horses, and it allows trade. And getting Venice lives and dies on trade.
And you are actually not that far from Manila, so...
Yeah, so I'm just going to pop into that for now.
One of the things I have to find in games like this is not going for... sailing early gives me a massive disadvantage in catching up.
Yes, it can do. We are on quite a strip of land here. Okay, I've got my monument, so I'm tempted to not even go for a shrine full stop.
Just adopt my religion.
Not a bad. It's not a bad idea. Just to take your religion in and give you a bit of a boost with it.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm going to do that, and I think I'm going to go for. I'm just going to go straight up, go for a worker, maybe.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Or another scout, or a granary. Actually, I've got all that wheat. I'm taking a granary.
What was I thinking about that? Yeah, I was reading some things about Solaris earlier today, actually. And it was lots of people have been saying that hyperlane games are really interesting if you block everything to hyperlanes, because it gives that sense of geography back, because you can't just skip over fleets.
Yeah, yes, we have been playing quite a lot of Stellaris here, and
Sripada. Faith, food, and happiness.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go for policy. Well, I definitely don't need rapid expansion. In fact, I'm not going to go for it at all, so I'll probably go for tradition as well. Honor's pretty useless for me. Piety, I'm not going to go for religion, so tradition is definitely the best for me.
You get a free Merchant of Venice, though, if you go Liberty, don't you?
Yeah, but I'm trying not to take over any, because
course.
I'm trying to just stick with Venice on its own.
I mean, I don't know how much...
You're going to win, I don't need to.
Yeah, I don't know how much that nerfs you, so if you need to, feel free to take a couple of city-states, especially ones that are far away.
It does nerf me a little bit, but not... nothing I can't handle.
Fair enough. I'm going to explore this Sripada, because I believe this is going to be my first settling zone. How early should one build a settler?
Well, now, because you've gone tradition, that means you are going to have to build them as opposed to get them for free. Essentially, the earliest you can afford the production.
Okay.
One could argue that unless you're going to leap on a wonder, that is as soon as your shrine is and your monument are finished.
Yes.
Where is Shripada's up there, which is a nice faith boost, if I recall correctly.
4 faith.
Yes. So, yeah. Ultimately, as soon as you can is the answer to that question. Oh, hello, barbarian. You following me home?
So, a set will take me 14 turns. Yeah, by the time I researched masonry, I already had built a settler before my pyramid. So you think build the shrine and then finish the monument and then a settler?
Unless you wanted to fit in a worker.
I think I'll pass on that because I'll get 2 for the pyramid.
That's true, if you get to build a pyramid.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't explore any further down there right now, so... Go up here.
I do like the purple focus on both of our nations.
Yes.
And it feels... Ooh, another policy. I think I'll take... Well, I think it's pretty obvious. I'll take the window construction.
Yes, will be very advantageous for you.
I do like some of the sounds in Civ. I find some of them a bit obnoxious, but I like some of the background sort of scribbling sounds.
Yes, they're nice.
Satisfying.
What do I want? Well, the wonders thing isn't particularly relevant for me at the moment, is it? I don't have any wonders to build, so no.
Where was the...
Neither is the garrison thing, really. It's leading to other things.
Golden Age or culture. Or that city you found.
Well, I've just popped my warrior in as a garrison. Yeah. Just save me a bit of money. It's fine.
Ooh, bananas. And citrus. Wonderful.
Yeah. Oddly, with our... I think to the east of you might be worth. You're going with your warrior, yeah.
I just was defeating that barbarian camp first.
Yeah.
Seems sensible because it was right next to me.
Absolutely. Okay, that granary's down. Build a worker.
Another thing that Endless Legend is sometimes a bit odd about is the ludicrous disparity in starting tribes.
Yes. It can be. I think that's one thing that Civ does quite well.
Yes.
Because beyond just what you select, it also gives you a bias for your particular Civ.
Yes.
Like Venice has a coastal bias.
Yeah.
Because you really need to be on the coast if you're Venice, because you need to trade.
And Endless Legend does that a bit, but not...
Certainly not as much, yeah.
Yeah, it's all... Again, I think almost all the problems about Endless Legend are all starting bias related.
Yeah.
There's not enough starting bias of the physical where you start, the tribes you're near. It's just... Right.
So another Pantheon founded.
And
Goddess of Protection. That's
food.
Not very good.
Granary should be the next thing for food? Or settler?
Well, what have you got in your queue at the moment?
Right now, it's just finished. So I've got Granary 12 turns or Settler 15 turns.
Settler is definitely more valuable to use in a granary, and I would say that a worker is also more valuable to use in a granary.
Then I will go Settler and then Granary.
Granaries are only really an absolute necessity if you have deer or wheat or bananas, is it? That they give a specific buff to. They're still fine buildings, but those are the only things that make them a real early necessity. So yeah, because workers are very important.
Yes.
And I know you may get 2 for free with pyramids, but even more than that will be.
Oh, eventually, yes.
Research wise, did you say you want masonry in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well I'll jump on that. That's fine.
I'm going masonry and then calendar, just because I can. The wonders.
Just because they're the resources around you, yes. Absolutely, that is the right thing to do. With the possible caveat that a lot of people like to rush for Great Library, because it's a really good early wonder, which is under writing.
Yes, except it's not a real wonder, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's not a...
Great Library is a wonder, yeah. It gives you a free technology, which is a huge boost in the early game.
Okay, then I'll have...
Do you want to go for that?
Well, I have to finish masonry first, so I have several turns to decide.
Okay.
I have 8 turns to decide which one to go for. I'll have a think. Oh, of course I should move off food because I can't increase my pop.
Yeah, you can't increase your pop while you're... I should have pointed that out. Absolutely.
So, construction. Okay.
Let's get this better.
Where's my scout? Found another barbarian. And I found a city-state, I think.
Mm-hmm. Having some of them near us is very advantageous. They give faith, I believe.
They do indeed.
If you befriend them.
I did enjoy that bit of my Greek game, befriend them. It just felt really appropriate and thematic.
It is good. It's nice. It's just very limited in its scope.
Yeah.
You've got to jump on their quests and you've got to give them money, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think it was a really nice idea. It's not the execution wasn't perfect.
We just discovered writing from
a ruin.
A ruin I jumped on. I would be very tempted if I was you to line up. How many turns will it take you to build a great library?
16.
16.
Yeah. And I can start constructing the pyramid in 5, which would make it.
The Great Library is definitely a better wonder than the pyramids.
Should I finish the settler first, or just go straight to Great Library?
I'd be tempted to jump straight on the Great Library. Your settler isn't time related, you know.
Yeah.
Remember, you've got to shift your stuff back round, so it might actually take longer.
And that will take 20 turns.
20 turns. Yep. But it's quicker than it'll be taking everyone else because of your specific advantage.
And then I'll go and see if I can hopefully get a pyramid, because if not I'm going to have to build workers sharpish.
Yeah. Barbarian spawning.
Discovered sailing from a ruin. That tech has been really nice.
Was that just from a village?
Yeah, just from ruins.
Nice.
I don't think
Been very lucky.
Go anywhere without doubling up. So
there's an advantage in co-op beyond purely the co-op nature of it.
I wish you could actually disable that.
It would be nice.
But
there may be a way. I just simply don't know it. It's a possibility. Okay. Oh, I did have horses as well. I didn't even notice that.
See if there's anything past me now.
Barbarians in my territory, just quick enough for me to...
I have been quite lucky with my runes this time, because my warriors upgraded to spearmen too. Ooh, I can find a pantheon.
Wonderful. Okay, so...
Ooh,
I don't have a pantheon list up in front of me, but generally speaking, the best pantheons are those which exploit the resources around your capital. So for you specifically, you've got a couple of stone, and you also have 2 cattle and a sheep, which would give you pastures. And I believe there is a god of the open skies or something like that that enhances pastures. But you do also have cotton. And I believe there's something called like oral folklore or something like that.
All traditions, one culture from pantheons. Plantations, sorry.
From plantations, yeah. And you will have plantations on your cotton. So I would say that it's kind of a crapshoot for you because you'll have an equal number of plantations and pastures. So really, and are they both just extra culture on those things?
One culture, yeah.
Then it's a crapshoot, really. So what I'd do is look around where you're likely to settle.
Well, my next one is going to have cotton.
Shriepada is going to have cotton. It also may well have bananas, which are also plantations, and citrus, which is also a plantation.
Yeah.
So I think the oral...
Even better than something like fertility rights, with 10% faster growth rate.
That's not as much as it sounds like. Because think about it. If you have...
slows down.
Yeah, and it will also, if you take 20 turns to grow, you'll take 18 instead.
Fair enough.
That's not that much of a boost.
Okay, so I want oral tradition +1 culture from plantations.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. We have adopted
There's excellent. There's actually an excellent settlement spot I can see with Shripada as well, which
yes,
is
it's one east of it, which is in range of citrus and bananas and
citrus,
stone
bananas,
and cotton.
horses, stone, cotton, gems.
It's out of range of gems.
No, it's not. One east is from Shripada is not. One, two, three.
Oh no, you're right. Sorry.
It's also next to a mountain.
Yep.
With Shripada.
And it's not that far from me, whilst also being a nice distance from me. That it's Okay. Cool.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Although you could also go to the southeast of it, and you'd lose the citrus, but you'd gain buffalo and cotton. Another cotton.
Indeed. It is also.
And it's a bit closer to your city.
Yes.
I'd go southeast.
Yes, I was thinking this way. Okay.
And you gain the stone, the other stone on the west as well.
Mm.
That's definitely a better location.
Shall we say then, after this turn, we call it an episode? Because I think we've done quite a long introduction now.
We have, I would imagine.
As I'm guessing. But it seems appropriate that now I think getting into the flow of things, so...
Yes, absolutely. That we will do that. Then I am building a caravan because I'm Venice, and I thrive on trade. I also have another policy to get. I'm taking legalism, which gives me a free culture building in my first 4 cities. What that means is that the next culture building that I can have will just appear for free. So because I built a monument, I don't get another one. But when I research amphitheatres, I'll get a free one of those in Venice. In my first 4 cities, which for me is
Venice.
A crapshoot, but for you it's very handy.
Yes.
I just met Samarkand, by the way.
I saw.
So I just saw your religion going down there. Lovely. I can't move my worker anyway, which is annoying.
Yes. Do you want me to come to your rescue?
No, I'm okay. I'm going to bombard him and kill him with my stuffs.
I forgot about that at first.
Yeah. So there we go. That's an episode, I guess.
Yes. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you continue to enjoy my inept adventures, misadventures.
You'll be fine. It's all fine. Cool. Yeah, we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.